Welcome back. The news in full. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi received on Monday Sultan Mufdallah Saif al-Din, Sultan of Bahrain sect, and his sons in the presence of the Sultan's representatives in Cairo. President al-Sisi praised the deep historical relations between Egypt and the Bahrain sect, and he hailed the efforts undertaken by this sect in renovating the shrines and the historic mosques in Egypt. President al-Sisi also valued the development and charitable projects undertaken by the community in Egypt in partnership with Long Life Egypt funds. Presidential spokesman Ambassador Mohammed El-Shenawi said that the Sultan Mufdallah expressed his appreciation to Egypt's leading role in the region to promote peace, security and stability, topping of which are its efforts to reach a ceasefire agreement in the Gaza Strip. Arab League Secretary General Ahmed Abulghait asserted the League's continued keenness to support commerce in all political, economical, and humanitarian, educational, and developmental fields. This came during the Arab League's chief meeting at the General Secretariat headquarters in Cairo with President of Commerce Azil Assoumani, who was accompanied by a high-level delegation as part of an official visit to Cairo. The President of Commerce praised the Arab League's historical role in supporting its member state and protecting their interests. And also he gave a comprehensive explanation of various political, economic, and developmental issues that the Commerce, Development, and Government is working on. The meeting also tackled the latest developments on the international and regional arenas. Minister of Foreign Affairs, Migration and Egyptian Expatriates Badr Abdelati stressed that the role played by the women as a major partner and main partner in the development of the communities, in topping of which the priorities of the President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. This came during the Foreign Minister's participation in the opening session of the 10th General Congress of the Arab Women Organization that is held under the auspices of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. The session is entitled Communication, Empowerment, Protection of Women and Girls from Cyber Violence and Violence Resulting from the Technology and Artificial Intelligence. The top diplomatic expressed his keenness to salute the Egyptian and Arab women, and especially Palestinian women, who stand steadfastly in defense of the right of the Palestinian people in face of the brutal Israeli aggression on Gaza Strip. And moving on to the development in Palestine, as Palestinian group Hamas said Monday, a new Israeli framework for aid delivery that was reported in Kasla, calling for a ceasefire that ensures protection for Sudanese people and their resources. On Sunday, the Sudan's army said that the rebel-wrapped support forces struck Port Sudan in the first attack on the seat of the government during the two-year war. Details. Egypt on Monday condemned the targeting of infrastructure and vital utilities in the Sudanese cities of Port Sudan and Kassala, calling for a ceasefire that ensures protection of Sudanese people and their resources. The Foreign Ministry statement stressed the necessity of preserving the Sudanese people's resources and maintaining the basic infrastructure and other civilian facilities in the country. The statement said Iran's government said on Monday that the country remains committed to diplomacy with the United States after a fourth round of nuclear talks with Washington due in Rome on the 3rd of May was postponed for logical reasons. Foreign Ministry spokesperson Ismail Bagai said that the Tehran was flexible regarding the timing of talks and was waiting for details from the mediator, Oman, regarding the next round of the negotiations with the U.S. However, Bagai added that the contradictory statements from the U.S. officials were unhelpful and would not impact Tehran's determination to defend its fundamental positions, including its right to enrich uranium domestically. Pakistan carried out a second missile test in 3 days on Monday after saying it was preparing for an incursion by India, as Moody's warned that the standoff over violence in Kashmir could set back Islamabad's economic reforms. Relations between the nuclear-armed neighbors have nosedived since gunmen killed 26 people on the 22nd of April in an attack in disputed Indian-run Kashmir. India has accused Pakistan of involvement, and Islamabad has denied the allegations but said that it was the intelligence that the New Delhi intended to launch military action against it soon. Moving on to the latest development in the Ukrainian-Russian war, as Russia's air defense units destroyed 4 Ukrainian drones flying towards Moscow. And according to primarily people, there were no injuries or damage from the falling debris. Russia's defense ministry said on Monday that a total of 26 Ukrainian drones targeting Russia's territory were destroyed overnight. The ministry said that in addition to the drones downed on their approach to Moscow, 17 drones were destroyed over the Bryansk region and 5 over the Kaluga region. Russia's aviation watchdog, Rosenvais, he said that earlier it had halted flights at Domodossovo Airport, one of the key airports serving Moscow, for about 1.5 hours overnight to ensure air safety. And Russian President Vladimir Putin said last week that he declared the 3-day ceasefire from the 8th of May till the 10th of May to mark the 8th anniversary of the victory of the Soviet Union and its allies in the World War II, a move that approaches aimed and signalizing that Russia is still interested in peace. Domestically, Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli said today that Egypt adopted a plan to double tourist arrival, whether through developing the platform designated with the issuance of electronic visas or upgrading the infrastructure and services at different airports. The Prime Minister made these remarks as he chaired a follow-up meeting of the steps taken to facilitate the access of tourists in all airports and outlets in all attendance of Minister of Communication Amr Talat, Minister of Tourism and Antiquities Sharif Fathi, and Minister of Civil Aviation Sameh El Hafni. Madbouli instructed taking the procedures required to promote for Egyptian unique tourist experience at different markets worldwide. Minister of Planning, Economic Development and International Cooperation, Rania Al-Mashat, said today that the government is committed to the investment spending ceiling of £1 trillion Egyptian pounds, aiming to open the horizon for local and foreign investments, slash the state's engagement in economic activities, and increase the private sector investments. The minister made these remarks in a meeting with the president of the European Bank of the Reconstruction and Development, Odile Renaud Besso, on preparation for the annual General Business Forum due to be held on the May the 13th and 15th of May in London. And the European top banker, meanwhile, said that the bank pumped up to 1.5 billion euros of investment in Egypt last year, and it will inject more funds in future investments in the national market. And one of the amazing sports news, Al Zamalek will face the National Bank today at 8 p.m. Cairo local time in the fourth round playoffs of the Egyptian Premier League. The White Knights are in third place in the league standings on 39 points, where their rivals rank the fifth on 32 points. Earlier in this same round, second place, Al Ahly shrank the gap with leaders Pyramids after striking Haras Al Hudud 5-0, and the defending the champions have 46 points, one behind Pyramids, and the win revived the Red Devils' hopes to seal the title with 4 games in hand. Well, by this, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the end of our news bulletin for now. Many thanks for watching.